What's going on, guys? Rob A here, and today we're taking a look at Figma number 276, Yami Yugi from the YuGiOh series. Now, apparently this is the 20th anniversary of YuGiOh. I was unaware of that, and you know, I've been known to throw down some dual monster cards in my youth. So you know, this figure kind of holds a little special place in my heart. But either way, I think it's kind of a cool character design, anyhow. So let's take a look. It is a Figma, so I'm anticipating super articulation with this. And it looks like we've got like a spare arm going on here. That's interesting. I'm kind of just curious to see how that all comes together. But so you see he has a ton of accessories here. He's got the Millennium puzzle. He's got his school jacket that doubles as his cape when he's, you know, all Yu-Gi-Oh-fied. He's got a couple of different card options here. He's got a little hand of cards he can stick in his hand, and a single card as well, and a dual disc. We've got what looks like an extra pair of eyes, and of course a separate face. Yeah, I think there might even be some more. There's probably a Figma stand in here as well. Checking out the side of the box, you can see the figure in, you know, kind of a standard pose for Yugi. And you can see on the back some of the different poses you can get out of this figure. So all in all, looks like it's going to be a good time. So I'm going to go ahead and get this figure opened up out of the package, and we will check him out together right now. Okay, so in the box for Yugi, just crack this guy open real quick. Slide it on out. We get, as always, this nice little figure stand thing. It's just basically a little purple punch out. I've never used these for any of my Figmas, but you know, it's cute and nice that they include it there. Let's go ahead and pop the plastic cover off here. We can take a look at the other accessories. So we get our little Figma plastic bag. This is like the coolest thing, and I know it's hard to see here, but they give you basically a little Ziploc bag in all of their figures, so you can put all the accessories and whatever in it. I think that's really, really cool that they do that. It's easily like one of my favorite things. I don't know why, but this I definitely use every time. So in this little baggie, we've got our Figma stand, which is really cool, and all of our different various card holding hands and paraphernalia. So you do get quite a nice little selection there of different hands, so that's going to be really cool. You get your little instruction manual. We've got the little not skirt piece, cape piece, I guess, and it's even got a little Figma stand peg hole here. And then we got all the various different pieces for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get Yugi here out of the box the rest of the way and kind of mess around with him, see what he's all about, and I'll meet you guys right back here. Okay guys, so here it is, Figma Yami Yugi, and it is a beautifully done figure all in all. So it does come with a Figma stand, of course, as you've seen, and the stand plugs right into the bottom of his school jacket, which can also just be unplugged from his shoulders. It's just one solid piece, just like that. It's just kind of soft-ish. Well, it's hard, plasticky, rubbery, whatever, but it's nicely done. It's painted up. It's got the little buckles and things like that on it, of course. So here is Yami Yugi, and he comes with all the articulation and all the tiny accessories, which we will get into in just a moment. So let's just take a look at the articulation first, shall we? So he does have the Millennium puzzle. As you can see, that just hangs around his neck by this little chain. He's got some decent head articulation. It's limited a little bit because of his hair, of course, but you do get some decent articulation out of that. You can kind of cock his head to the side. It's on, you know, it's on not a ball joint, but a nice kind of Figma joint, so you can get pretty much whatever articulation you want out of that. His shoulders are weird weird. His shoulders are weirdly limited. They do have this kind of black rubber piece over them that, you know, is part of his shirt, but it does tend to limit his upward shoulder movement, which is kind of a little strange, and a little bit unfortunate, to be honest. But I mean, Yugi wasn't necessarily known for lifting his arms too much, and if you want to get pointing poses, you can certainly accomplish that by just kind of moving his arms around. So if you wanted to point, you can just have him do, you know, do that, and you kind of get it. So it just requires a little bit of fiddling, but I'm glad these pieces are here and it's not just like a big empty spot, but it would have been nice to have maybe softer rubber, just a little bit higher up to kind of get that effect going, but it's certainly not the end of the world. He does have, of course, waist articulation. His waist is on a rocker ball joint, twist and all that fun stuff. The legs, again, there's that soft kind of rubber here in the front of his pants to kind of make it so that that seam is not broken by his legs and kind of give it more of a natural flow, and I think that works just fine. His legs look pretty good. You could stretch his legs out and stuff like that. He does have a little bit of the Figma ball knee situation going on. Of course, the feet are also jointed. Let's see how these are actually attached. Okay, yeah, so it's just a regular Figma joint. So if you want his feet to kind of, you know, have an ankle tilt, you can just kind of turn it, turn it and move it, kind of sort of thing. But it works just fine, no problems there. And of course, the elbows do move as well, as the wrists also have the same kind of Figma joint system. Just a little hard to see, just because of the color of plastic is so light. But yeah, he could totally do the Watusi. Woo! So you got that going on, and it's pretty cool. He does come with many accessories, so let's get into that. He does come with an extra arm. It's just his regular arm. It's got the arm bracelet on it, but not the dual disc system here, which is very nicely done, very nicely painted up. It's got a little deck of cards in there, and just some nice detailing all around it on both sides. And to swap these out, you just pull the forearm off of the joint here, and then just plug this one right on. But the only problem with that is, when I pulled the forearm off to replace it, the pin came out from this end instead of this end. It's supposed to come out from the forearm and not the upper arm, but it came out from there, and it was so tight inside this forearm that I had to use a pair of pliers to actually pull it out and to get it back in, and I was very, very concerned that I was going to break something when I was doing that. So just be careful if you pick up this figure, that may be a situation that you'll have to deal with. So just keep that in mind. It's still an awesome figure overall, but it's just one thing to look out for. And yeah, it was just something that kind of concerned me when it was happening, for sure. So he does have a couple of different faces, so let's get into that. He's got two different faces, but a lot of different face options, I should say. So he's got this kind of face with this very serious look going on here, and he's got this face which is kind of smirking, smiling, and you can switch those out fairly simply by so you pull off his hair, the front of his hair, just the gold or the yellow part of his hair, which looks pretty interesting. He's got a very Vegeta look going on there. So you just got this piece, and then you can, of course, pull his face out. And that looks a little more strange, of course. Now you got way more articulation in the head. You can just move his head around like this. Brrr. Sonic the Hedgehog. Alright, so you've got the two faces, and you do have a couple of options even here, because you've got the eyes facing forward, going off to the right or the left, and you do have another set of eyes going off to the right or left, depending on, you know, which way you're facing. So for those, you just pop these eyes out, and it looks so weird. It looks like it's not going to look good at all when you're just holding it separately, but you know, once you actually plug it in, it looks great. So and it works very nicely. But I like this face, so I'm gonna hold on to this face for now. He also comes with many different hand options, so let's get into that as soon as I get his face back on here. There we go. That kind of locks everything in there. So he does have a bunch of different hands. So this one is kind of the, you know, he just whipped a card out and he's, you know, hasn't even looked at it. He's just going to play it like a total hardcore dude. And of course he does have this little hand of cards. Just very basic. Kind of sort of painted a little bit. Just enough to get the job done, you know. And he does have a hand to hold that deck of cards for each arm. So he can hold it in either this hand, or he can hold it in this hand. Just gotta get it. Here, let's go ahead and switch that out. And it's very easy to switch the hands out. You just pull it and put it back on, just like that. So he can hold his cards in this hand if you'd like. So he can have that, but of course this is for holding the single card, which you also get. So he can do moves like so. Like he's just kind of whoosh, whoosh. I summon a Dookie-saurus. Yeah. Pop right on there. So yeah, he's got lots of different options. He's got some open hands for when he's explaining his strategy to somebody. He's got a fist for when he wants to punch somebody out. He's got a pointing finger when he figures out somebody's cheating. He's got these grippy hands for swords, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, all in all, I mean, really nicely done figure. Looks super cool. I just really like I like the card between two fingers deal. So I'm gonna stick with that. Yo, look at this. And then of course let's get his little hand back in here. There we go. And it's just a really nicely done figure. I'm very pleased with it. I saw the I believe it's Reveltech is also doing a Yugi figure, and to me it just, like, the style of it just isn't as quite engaging for me personally. I mean, your opinion may differ, and that is absolutely fine, but for my money I went with this particular figure. I may be interested in the Kaiba from that Reveltech line, and I am also ordering or I have ordered the Dark Magician from that line. So as soon as that is available, I'll be reviewing that here as well. One thing the Reveltech ones do have that this doesn't, that I thought was kind of interesting, is they actually come with like a miniature stand, so you can it's like a miniature picture stand, so you could actually have him standing here and the picture stand will be here and will actually hold a Yu-Gi-Oh trading card, which I think is a really cool idea personally. I kind of wish this thing came with one, so you could have it displayed, you know, he's here, and then it's, you know, kind of displaying, you know, your favorite card or whatever. I think that's actually a really cool idea. But other than that, I just did like the design of this particular figure more. Gets a little little more elevation on that arm. There we go. So yeah, you can get some really, really nice poses out of this guy, and I'm very pleased with it. So yeah, again, just be careful if you're switching out the arms, because that can be rather scary. And yeah, it's just really, really cool. I like this little Millennium puzzle. It's really, really nicely painted, really nicely detailed, and just the eye change gimmick is quite cool. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with this figure. That's what I'm kind of trying to say here. So that, guys, is going to do it for this review. I want to thank you so very much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and leave a like. It really does help me out. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more. Like I said, I will be getting the Dark Magician figure, which I think will be coming out next month, or actually the end of this month. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. We'll see when it actually drops. But in the meantime, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.